Hi, my name is Steve Evans. I'm the Commodities Director at Mayor Brass Company. We're here to talk just a few minutes about a subject that might seem a little obscure, but if you know the nuts and bolts behind it, I think you'll find that can save you some time and money and aggravation if you have an understanding of how all of this works. Several years ago, when we went into the leaded brass versus lead-free Clean Drinking Water Act, and the lead-free fittings were being banned from potable water, we had a lot of interest in our 150-pound stainless steel fittings. We had a lot of people that converted actually from brass to stainless steel because there was inherently no lead in stainless steel. They were able to get this in service without worried about the lead-free aspects. Consequently, our demand on 150-pound fittings and stainless nipples grew rather rapidly, but we also noticed that the number of complaints we were getting from the field were growing rapidly as well. And being a manufacturer of stainless steel nipples, we knew that we hadn't suddenly started making bad product, and we knew that our 150-pound fitting partner, Kingdom Industries, was not suddenly making bad fittings. So there had to be another explanation for why we were suddenly getting more complaints than we had in the past, and quickly came to learn that a lot of it came from the new set of end users that had never dealt with stainless before. Stainless steel is an entirely different metal than working with malleable fittings or with brass. It's a much harder metal, less forgiving, and if you make a mistake when you're threading stainless steel, you run a good chance that you're going to either ruin the thread or wind up with a leaking product that you're going to have to take out. So we've tried to educate people over the years that it is a different process. It's harder to work with, but once you know what you're doing and what the background is, that you'll be very happy with the results. It's not a bad idea to invest in a set of gauges if you're going to be working with this material. We have a plug gauge for gauging female ends. We have the mating ring gauge for doing male threads, and you notice they just spin right on. You get a perfect fit with the on the flush side there, and you also get a perfect fit right at the notch where it should be. But of course these are perfect because they are master gauges. Once you get into real life, things can be a little bit different. Just by the very nature of how things work, you take a stainless nipple, or here we have a stainless steel street elbow, they get knocked around, whether in boxes, whether they're getting shipped, whether they're in a toolbox, and you're going to find, you can see here that there are little tiny nicks and chips in the male threads, and sometimes there can be a little piece of metal that gets left over after the cleaning, and you're not going to find that with your gauge. So your gauge is always going to go on smoothly together. Once you start putting them on fittings, occasionally you're going to get hung up. This is the ASME P1.21 thread specification that we use for all of the manufactured product. It is universally accepted for making the national pipe thread. There's everything you need to know and then some in this spec. And hidden away in here, they talk about this very thing in that the male threads are susceptible to nicking, and that they actually can stop the fitting from gauging properly. If you're trying to gauge a fitting, they actually allow, and this is what a lot of people don't know and that scares them a little bit, they're afraid they might break something, is what they call wrapping, or we call it wrapping and tapping. And essentially what happens is if you are assembling your fitting, you can put the gauge on. If it doesn't go quite to the flush where it should be. You actually can take a wrap on a piece of metal like that, not too hard because you don't want to damage your gauge if you're using a gauge, and got another half a turn out of that thing, and it came up nearly flush. When you're installing a fitting, we take again, a male thread are probably the ones that you're going to have going to experience more problems with, and you take your ring gauge and get that started. Doesn't start quite as easily as the plug gauge does. Get down here, I've got a little bit of resistance trying to go on. Could be a nicked thread, could be again a particle down inside. Give that a good wrap on the on whatever surface it is, and sure enough, I get another 2/3 of a turn on that thing, and come out flush. You can do the same thing not only with gauges, but you could do it if you're trying to assemble fittings together and you're having an issue, or you think it's not gauging the way it should or engaging the way it should. We can turn that on. We're going to have at the end, we want to have 3.5 to probably 6 turns to get a tight seal. We got about 3.5 here. It's not quite. It is hand tight, but I don't feel that it's quite secure. We can do the same thing. We can give it a wrap and a tap, and get another 1/4 of a turn out of that thing before putting a wrench on. So it's actually, again, not widely known, and we've had engineers and quality control people that'll say, hey, I don't want to endanger my gauges by wrapping them, but again, it is in the spec, it's allowable, and if you're careful and don't overdo it, you're going to see that it does work, and you'll find that a lot of times, rather than taking out the fitting that you think is bad, you're going to find that it actually does gauge. There was something in there that was hanging it up. The other thing that is extremely important when threading stainless steel, and we've been using bare fittings here for the purposes of demonstration, but when you're actually in the field and actually putting something together, you really should not ever try to put stainless steel together without having a thread tape or thread dope that is intended for stainless steel. This happens to be, on these ends, I wrapped it with our brand, which is Merit Brass stainless steel thread type. It's nickel coated. There's some nickel infused product out in the marketplace, but to try and do stainless steel without thread dope or thread tape, you're going to probably have problems. And between wrapping and tapping and having that properly coated, you should wind up with an excellent seal, and the corrosion resistance of stainless. You've got an installation that'll last for a long, long time.